Hello and welcome to C-Level Champion Show. Joining me today is no stranger. You may have seen him a few days ago on Good Morning America. It's none other than high-profile attorney Brett Stalcup. Brett, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We are going to be talking a little bit about you. We're going to be talking about leadership, and I want you to share some pearls of wisdom that you've acquired over the years through life experiences, through people who have inspired you. Because the people who are tuning in to us right now, they're looking for pearls. They're looking for ways to elevate their game, their leadership game, so that they can achieve success and so that they can be better at what they're doing. So before you do, just talk a little bit about what you do over at Stalcup Law.
We at the Stalcup Law Firm, we practice a lot of the recovery defense and recovery law, and that is about trying to help people get their lives back no matter what has happened to them,
Okay.
whether it be drug addiction, alcohol, whatever it is. So when they come in our firm and they hire us, no matter if it's on a criminal case or a family law case, I'm there to help them get their life back and I like to say, I like them to leave my law firm as winners and champions,
Okay.
period.
And you're one of the pioneers in the whole area of recovery defense strategy, correct?
That's right. John McShane and myself, he sort of handed me the torch.
Okay.
I've been practicing recovery law for 25 years. I've studied it. I've written a lot about it, and I know it and I live it.
Okay. Now, is that in the area of law that a lot of new attorneys that are out of law school are going into?
No, the problem is a lot of new lawyers coming out of law school, they really don't know what it's about.
Okay.
To really understand recovery law, you have to live it. You have to know exactly what this person across from you is going through,
Okay.
and then you can make a plan with them. You know, it's about creating a plan, a life plan with this client from phase one all the way to the finish line to help them get a successful life again. And you gotta customize a recovery plan for each client.
Okay. Now, I know you a little bit. You've met, so we had a chance to talk prior to this, but would you say that what you do is a career or is it more of a ministry for you?
It's a ministry to me, period.
That's what I thought.
And the day that it's not a ministry to me, I will do something else. I see people at their lowest. I see people where they have more pain in their heart than they can even describe, and I want them to see the light in me. I want them to see God in me.
Okay.
Where my goal is for them to say, you know, I want what you have, and that's my goal for each client.
And so for some of our viewers, maybe having God in their life isn't what they're wanting, but they see something in a leader who they work for that they want to aspire to. So how can you help those leaders better connect with their employees?
It's all about, to me, achieving balance. You know what I mean? Whenever you have people working for you, you have those who create drama, and then you have those that are underachieving for some reason. And you want balance. You want them to maintain a balanced life where they're not in the highs and they're not in the lows, and they're right there where they're not real dramatic. They're very mature. And I think when you can implement that in your business, then the success that you'll see with your company is going to be enormous.
So how have you managed to achieve balance in your life? Because, you know, at least in my life, I've had a variety of managers that I've worked under. In all those managers, there's been two that I'd rather not work under ever again. But the ones that I have worked under, they were very consistent and they were very well-rounded. So how would you help a leader, an executive who may struggle in this area? What advice would you give to them?
this might sound crazy to you,
No, probably
coming
not.
from me, but I would tell them to learn how to journal.
Learn how to journal. Okay.
Yes. Journaling and the process of journaling, if you do it right, will help you manage your emotions with the way you're living your life.
Okay.
And I do it on a daily basis, and I find that it is the most successful tool that I've ever put in my life.
So when you journal, and without sharing details, are you journaling about experiences that are happening to the day? Are you journaling about emotions that you're having a difficult time dealing with?
I journal on why I'm angry.
Okay.
I feel angry when. And then I journal, I feel guilty when. And then I journal, I feel fear when. And then I ended up with, I feel proud when. And at the top, I put 1 through 6 on the left, 7 through 12 on the right.
Okay.
So as I'm writing how I'm feeling, if I'm mad at somebody or if I'm frustrated, I go back up to my 1 through 12. What do I need to do to manage that feeling so that I don't just really blow my top?
Okay, that's very interesting. And I'm sure that comes in handy because what you do on a day-to-day basis, it's tough. You deal with tough issues, you deal with conflict, you deal with challenging situations, and you're the expert. You're the person that someone is coming to looking for solutions. So as you're helping people to recover, as you're helping them to regain their life and regain footing in their life, how do you manage to refuel and rejuvenate so that you can get through tomorrow?
I exercise a lot. I pray a lot. I read the Bible a lot. And I have a wonderful wife.
Yes.
And wonderful, you met my wife,
I
and
met
she's
your wife,
wonderful.
Sanka. Yes, he has a wonderful wife. Yes.
And I have 2 beautiful girls that keep me having fun and keep me young. And I always try to remember when the napalm's flying around me, that I have to be the eye in the calm of the storm.
Okay.
And that's what I live by.
And I know that you're a man of God. I know that you definitely have no problem bringing God into the situation when you are, counseling someone. How do your clients react to that sometimes?
Well, I really don't care.
Good.
I always just lay it out there because you can look in someone's face. Like I see the joy in your face. And you can look at someone's face and tell real quick what's going on. And I'll poke around a little bit with my questions.
Okay.
But I'll ask them, where are you at with God? Because a lot of times they want to be asked that.
Okay.
They just, they're scared that it has to be a preacher, and it doesn't.
Right.
And a lot of times they're more comfortable to talk to me about it then. And they'll say, I used to have God, and then I ran the other direction, and that's missing in my life. And I'll pray with them right then.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Earlier, before we started the interview, we were talking about how, a young child may do something. Maybe they might steal something, and they may do it again because they didn't get caught. And they may keep doing that until finally the time arises that they end up getting caught. And that's usually when you're finding them.
Right.
What's been kind of the biggest, and I don't want to say success, but what's been the biggest successes that you've had? And I don't mean with people necessarily, but people that have turned their lives around, and how has that impacted you?
Because I'll say this, I even wrote about that in my book. I'm in it to see the miracle. Because when people come to me, they need something a lot more than me. They need the miracle. And I'm there to see it because it increases my faith every time I see it.
Okay.
And the successes I've seen, I've had a man in my office that had been to 9 treatment centers, and he was drunk on blue Listerine. That's the last drink that you're going to drink before you die. And he literally had to hold his head up. his wife did hold his head up to talk to me. And let me tell you, he left to be a CEO of a company, and to hear his story and to hear his successes were amazing. And then I've had a young man who did a home invasion for no reason.
Okay.
He didn't need to. His parents were very successful, and I saw him turn his life around.
Wow.
And get into college and work toward his medical degree.
Wonderful.
So when I see that miracle, it keeps me rolling. You know what I mean?
So let's talk a little bit about that person, not that specific person, but the person that you helped to turn their life around. Like the person you're just talking about is now pursuing, you know, a career in the medical field. Let's talk about the employer who that person's resume or her resume is going to come across that employer's desk. And the employer is going to notice that this person has a blemish on their record. Talk to the executives out there now and give them some, I don't want to say advice, give them some.
I'm so glad you asked that question. That's the beauty of the recovery defense. I was trying a case one time in federal court. It was in the sentencing phase of this poor lady that she stole the money from the bank, but she had 9 kids at home. And I was asking the judge to go off the guidelines to help her so she could go home and not go to prison.
Right.
And the guidelines called for prison time. And the strategy behind the recovery defense is try to get everyone to help, to sign on to what can I do to make sure that you're successful?
Right.
What can I do to make sure that you don't fail? And I was arguing to this judge, and I saw God literally working on him, that he didn't know what was going on, and he had to take a break.
Really?
He had to take a 5-minute break, and he came back in and gave her probation.
Wow.
It was beautiful. It was the miracle that I was telling you about.
Right.
But to specifically answer your question, that's what employers need to look at. Is this person doing a program that will keep them successful? Because if they are working a program, they will be the best employee you ever had.
Okay.
They will be loyal. They will do whatever it takes to make sure that you're paid back.
And your firm, you partner with a program in South Texas, right?
Yes.
A recovery type of
I
program.
partner. I'm a consultant to La Hacienda Treatment Center.
Okay.
And I speak for them a lot, and I speak to their employees a lot
Okay.
on, the lawyer treatment center relationship.
Because when you look at, in your experience, I mean, how different are we from someone who's made a mistake and ended up getting caught?
Well, you're not. I mean, the recovery defense works in that fashion too. It's all about trying to live a healthy life. We're all sinners. We all mess up. And the thing that I try to do is to keep someone from being judged for what they've done, or to make it where people want to sign on to, what can I do to help you?
Okay.
What can I do to make sure that you are successful in this program?
Okay. So Brett, when you're dealing with your clients, there are leadership traits that they see in you. They may not know them as leadership. They're qualities that they see in you. What are those qualities that you are instilling into your clients?
I try to teach these people, my clients, how to be disciplined again, how to seek integrity. I try to teach them how to be persistent, to get on a plan no matter what, live life one day at a time, but be persistent in a program, whatever that might be.
Okay.
I try to teach them how to trust again. Most people that come in my office have lost the ability to trust.
Okay.
So that has to be earned, and you have to teach them that. And it starts with me. So if I tell them I'm going to do something, I better do it. If I tell them that I'm going to call them, I better call them. If I tell them that I'm going to be there on Wednesday at 5, I better be there Wednesday at 4:55.
Okay.
I'm trying to teach those basic qualities again.
So consistency, integrity, persistence, and trust.
Trust.
So those sound like qualities that executives would have in leadership as well.
That's right.
Of those 4 qualities, which one do you feel is sometimes lacking?
Trust.
Trust.
Yes.
How can an executive work on rebuilding trust with their employees, with their team?
I think the way you rebuild trust is you do what you say you're going to do, and it starts with you. They got to be able to trust you.
Okay.
And if you say one thing yet you do another, which happens a lot in corporate America, you lose people's trust, and that's when you start falling into problems with people gossiping and things around you or behind you. Because if they really trust you, they're not going to buy into all that.
Right, that's true. Now, you've also written a book, which is about to be released soon, so we're having a sneak preview here.
Yes.
His book is called
Push.
Push. And Push basically deals with helping individuals to be able to push through adversity in their life and helping them to balance and juggle the unexpected, personal conflicts, family conflicts. Tell us a little bit more about kind of the inspiration for Push and the transformation that you went through as you were writing Push.
I was a motivational speaker for 15 years.
Okay.
I was under Phil McGraw and his program. I learned a lot, but I've also seen a lot. I've seen a lot of people who have lost, whether loved ones or marriage or whatever it is. And it's the same, I would hear the same thing over and over, over 15 years. So I wrote about it on things that I saw, tools that you can put in your toolbox to work through any barrier or any obstacle that you go through in your life.
Okay.
That's what Push is about. We have to push because the only alternative is to stop, and that's not an alternative.
So who was Push geared towards?
Push is geared toward the person who's been victimized.
Okay.
Either by children. I really like dealing with teenagers, and a lot of teenagers who have lost their mom or their dad are victims.
Okay.
And Push will teach them how not to live a victim role, how to get the tools to go, okay, no matter what has happened to me, I can be successful in my life, and I just got to work through it. I got to push.
Now, who inspires you?
My brother inspires me.
Okay.
And that's who I based a lot of the beginning of the book about. His name was Charlie. He was the football coach at South Lake Carroll.
Okay.
He died of melanoma cancer, and he gave me the gift of not only learning how to live, but to learn how to die.
Okay.
He was a winner, and he pushed every day with joy, and that's what I committed to Push to.
Okay, so a question came up this morning as I was driving here, so I'm going to ask you that question. So let's say you go back to your law firm today and you have a memo on your desk. You don't know who it came from, but it just says that today is going to be your last day on earth. But you can pack 3 things to take with you. What are those 3 things going to be?
That's a tough one. I would want to pack a cross.
Okay.
Okay. I would want to pack something from my wife and my girls, of course. And the third thing I would want to pack would be a rock.
Okay.
To remind me that the way I lived my life was a rock of a foundation, and I'm proud of that. You know, I'm proud to be practicing law, healthy, emotionally and physically after 30 years.
And just share with our global viewers 3 things you feel every exceptional leader needs to be able to do, or at least be aspiring towards, working towards.
Number 1, have fun.
Okay.
You see leaders that are so wound, they're wound so tight that you don't want to be around them. They're like micromanagers, they're grinders. So number 1, I would say have fun. And number 2, I'd say let go a little bit of the control.
Okay.
And trust the people around you. And number 3, I would say live a balanced life. Don't be a workaholic, because I don't care how much money you make, it's not going to make you happy. It's your life and your family that's going to make you happy.
Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining us on C-Level Champions. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. So what do you have planned for this weekend?
I'm going to go to my ranch this weekend.
Okay,
and
so you're
do
going to go
some,
have fun.
I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to get my CHL license Sunday with all the ladies that work with me in my office, so that's going to be fun.
Very good. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of C-Level Champions Show.